And welcome everybody to some Minecraft Alpha in 2024. Weird, isn't it? But yeah, I'll probably get into a lot of the reasons I was doing this, but mostly I think I've been falling into the roots, as it literally says on the screen, of my fandom with this game, and there's been a lot of those like late at night kind of watch stuff that's been going back through the versions because of course there is nostalgia is a thing. It sells and whatever. I don't even know if sells is the right word, but it gets views, I guess. Apparently by me late at night. But I don't know for anybody else that's been doing that. For anyone that's had the inkling to go back to these, there is a lot of reasons, and I mean, in the argument, I will not really necessarily be trying to participate in why this or that version's better. It really isn't about that. In the end, it's gaming. It's a game that's essentially Lego. It's really do what you want. And right now, I want to do this. And we'll get into that. But I don't want to spend too much time on that. I debated on having like the face cam and stuff there, but people like it stuff. So you get to see the person, not the disembodied voice, much unlike a lot of the original playthroughs of stuff. I was going to generate a world. But the thing is, yeah, first of all, like, I guess we're going to be going back through all the things, but this is not abnormal to me because I did actually live this, which is, we'll get to it. It's interesting, but yeah, you kind of had 5 worlds to choose from. They were implied to be, like, megabytes big, which I feel like that was always untrue, but I guess I'm not, like, the techiest to explain that, but I was cursed in my test videos to nothing but snow worlds, which were eternal snow worlds, I believe. There's going to be a lot in this playthrough that's going to be really subjective and up in the air, and that's just going to kind of be how things are. There's going to be a lot in this playthrough that I'll most definitely run into features that I know from the modern games that don't necessarily exist here, even though I did live them. I don't pretend to be a script of all those things, but I left this world intact for a very good reason, just because it gave me that instant flood of whatever it is that's like, hey, is this not what you... Oh, that's not the view. Sorry, I was testing. But I literally spawned somewhere here and got this exact view without the sheep. And I was like, I don't know, something about this image. I was like, I can't delete this world. I don't know why. It was love at first sight, but not really. It was nostalgia at first sight, but I think it's probably something to do with being very similar to my first experience and stuff. Just the way the generation and stuff, all that is. Stuff is the word of the day, and already I have one of my least favorite trees. You know, I'm going to be doing a lot of probably just playing on my own in this. That was kind of the intent. It wasn't really something I planned to necessarily record. But, you know, I have been doing the recording thing for recreation, and I'll maintain that for a long time, and you know, I have my quirks on how I want to envision editing this and stuff, and that'll probably involve a lot of just, honestly, with this, it's just like, the best part is going to be playing by my lonesome and kind of cutting to more production or more exciting things if they happen. And so that's kind of what to expect going forward here. It feels weird even planning it because I don't know. It's you know, I don't know how long this is going to go or any of that stuff. I don't know how much time I'll have for any of these. For anybody that does know me and has been around the block with me for a while, I am a very busy human being, a very happily busy human being. So that is very likely a factor right off the bat. But, you know, I think for this first video, what I'm trying to say is, oh, right, I is not, or E is not inventory. I knew this. So I was wondering, the skin retain, that's interesting. That's, oh, Ash. Took me a second. Ash from, Fire Emblem Three Houses. Bit of a sleeper character for me. This eye thing is gonna be taking some getting used to. I honestly expected just to be Minecraft Steve or whatever the hell. But yeah, you have to go through all the things I remember, like not having... By the way, back then, I was inventory. The first little thing that I know I lived it. But yeah. Oh, and you can't click and drag things. Yeah, so like right away, I mean, it's going to come off as a defensive on like, why I'm doing this and what have you, but I don't know why I'm making the multiple tool sets, by the way, but hey. You know, like, why am I doing what I'm doing? Already we're running into features and it's like, or lack of, and it's like, yeah, no crap, dude. Um, but I don't know, it's just really kind of the whole point of this is to be the stream of consciousness kind of playthrough. As much as I said it would be edited, this first video is just going to be probably a lot less edited for the initial going-ons. And that's just because I probably have a lot to say. And, you know, I am an ADHD person that can't keep a train of thought, but my God, does this look... Like, I didn't watch it as much. I guess I'm saying that and I'm about to reference it, but this does not look like the original Sea Nanners, like, little isle right here. I have that imagery in my head. He's not the one I watch. I was actually an X's Adventure in Minecraft guy. Anyone that recognizes that, yeah, absolutely. Like historically, and why did I pick the version I'm playing? Maybe we'll just go from there. I started on Minecraft Alpha 1.0.14 underscore something. I have a photographic memory, by the way, which is not what I thought it was, and not what people think it is. But it largely image-based memory, and I can remember stupid details like what version of Minecraft I played first. And the thing is, that version didn't come out around the time I started playing, but there was obviously entirely legal means, very obviously, of playing that initially. And yeah, that was just where I started. The reason I'm picking this version is literally because of the grass. It's probably not the best reasoning. There is a lot of people going back and playing these old versions and stuff. And they're picking specific versions like beta 1.7.3, and I think I am actually around of no, there's a alpha 1.2.6 I think is the last alpha one, and that's another one in my studies people seem to cling to. But I just really, I don't know, as much as I'm going with something that is kind of on a whim based off what I'm seeing, and there is a resurgence of this, and I'm kind of going with that resurgence, it is because I want to do it. And I didn't really want to be drawn to, like, finding a subjective best version, because that's kind of not the point of it. And for me, it's just certain things. Like, I checked out 1.2.6. I wanted the latest Alpha 1. I swore grass actually changed away from the slime green somewhere in beta. And it's... How the hell are you there without any interaction? Hero Brian? No. Maybe we'll find him. Alrighty, man. These, like, overhangs. I'm gonna get so distracted, but, like... The trees are killing themselves. I swear to God. These overhangs are nuts. Like, the world generation, honestly, has gotten back to this kind of point, almost, lately in the modern versions. And I don't pretend to play a bunch. This is the kind of game I come back to, like, every couple of years at this point. Usually with buddies, and it is cool what they're doing, but... Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to find my original train of thought. There is so many cool things, and I know I'm going to want a bunch of various things. I actually cannot think of why I want sugarcane in this version. I actually think that's not something that's going to matter. There's something I'm very clear that I'm missing that's going to be like, oh yeah, of course I want it, so we're going to grab it. But I mean, enchantments and stuff are not going to be a thing. I can tell you that. I can have a base grasp of that. This mass deforestation is problematic. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna explore a little, and you know, we'll cut to when I have something significant I want to say. We're gonna experiment in that a little bit right now. We're gonna cut back here because we have to, and we're gonna cut back silently. think I'd be remiss if I didn't let that almost play out in full. Things are going to be really dark, and I'm probably only put myself through this, but you know what? I have to talk about some of the things really fresh. We had to play that song. We had to, like, I'm not going to do that every time it shows up. We've all heard it like 600 times. And you guys cannot see anything. Editing fix that. I think I can do that in editing. Maybe we'll do that, because you guys will be able to see a lot better than I can. Because there's a number of things that I've already noticed. First of all, yes, that song is amazing. It does bring all the nostalgia juices back. Or nostalgia would make an interesting juice, by the way. Pretty much immediately, man. Like, that's pretty sweet. Everything about that was great, but already realizing a few things here, which I was aware of going into this. I cannot see anything. We're full gamer lean. And that's one of the things. So there should not be, at least. Oh, by the way, we're going to go to hard, of course. I don't remember what difference it actually makes here, but most difficulties are pretty hard. But there is no way to actually change the brightness, which I remember being one of the things I noticed. I don't want to talk too much about that, because we really can't see. I cannot draw things, right? All right, and they have the regular texture on top of them. Okay, so if nothing else... Oh, that's not the right one. If nothing else, we can light up the area by putting the furnace on, but one feature I don't know if it's actually a thing right now is making charcoal. I don't believe it is. Okay, first time that's happened. All right. I didn't look for coal. This actually is more of a problem, I think, in modern Minecraft finding coal. It's become far less common. Like, it was insane, and that's only very recently that's become a thing. I'm gonna fast forward this because I don't need just black screen. But we might come back if I just have some thoughts. I think that's generally going to be the way of things, since that's how I edit details. I think I'm gonna do this. Inventory, E. Oh, right, you could press F to change the render distance on the fly. Some other things I noticed, as you probably saw in the thing, walking on, while holding shift did in fact stop you from falling. There was an update at one point, I think, in my tenure that that was not the case. So that was always fun. But I was going to say the threat, if I could just talk for a moment. Let me talk to you. LA Night. No, we're not going there. Not even without the passion. Okay, the difficulty, it's going to be a thing. There is no hunger bar, obviously, as you can see. You can't stack food. I know a lot of these things already, and I lived them. And this game there was a lot of things in this game that did seem to just become... Let's give ourselves a little bit of a view, at least, before Skelly snipes my face. There's a lot of things that became, like, when did this change or not? Because even though, like, I've been playing this game for 14 years, by the way, I started in August 2010. I didn't mention that. It was the wrong version, but it was around then. And eventually, it was pretty quick that I did get my own version of the game that would be able to update and stuff. But I was pretty content playing what I was playing. And that's kind of the thing. When I watch a lot of these videos and stuff, and I play with my friends, I still kind of play this game the same way. Don't get me wrong, there's been some filtration of the newer features when I kind of want them, but I'm usually very late to the punch at using them or whatever. So I think it's been the longest time for me that I fear change in a way. And I still play this game very similarly. My buddies, like Sebastian and stuff, would probably tell you I make a lot of the same structures still, and a lot of them are still inspired by X's adventure in Minecraft, the spotlighty thing. I don't know if we're doing that here. I'd be remiss if I didn't, but I think I'm gonna try and force myself into a bit of some new things. I think because, weirdly enough, even though I do a lot of the same stuff now in the modern craft, it's like the argument a lot of people have that I kind of get is like the less is more idea. Having less tools, I know it seems crazy, less tools at your disposal breeds a little more creativity. And I truly do believe that in a lot of means, but it really depends what your shift of mindset is, because there's been a lot of times like I want to go full out modded craft. I've done it before with buddies, same one. He's got a shout out here. Love you, buddy. Ooh, cavey noises. I thought that only happened when you looked at caves back then, but I think a lot of things are buggy. Like obviously it's alpha, but this game was wild that it was actually in this alpha beta state, both of them, for what seemed like forever, man. And yeah, I don't even mind just having to hang out here with this view or lack of, literally boxed in. But there's gonna be a lot of things that are like that are gonna be adapted things just by omission of features. But at least we can press E on the fly now. At least I can change that. There of course would have been no console versions back then, but it's almost crazy because like it felt like this alpha and these beta stages took forever. And I'm not a person that says like time flies. I don't think it does, or like time gets faster as you go on, but I think I do play this game far less. And it still kind of has the same amount of update feel from year to year as it used to from month to month. I think I'm gonna chance that we're safe. And we really need some coal. Nothing? Okay. My creeper blast is insta-kill. We're not gonna have beds, by the way, I don't think. I think that's literally next update. Oh, there's a skelly. For those curious, this is the update right before the Halloween update. If you were like of this era and you want to timestamp things a little bit too, we're not quite at the brightness level. Oh, there we go. There's some coal. That would have made the night so much less hellish. The omission of the fact that hell will not be in this version. We might change, like we might update, but the thing is, this is the last version with this grass color. If my crazy ass trains of thought got you there throughout this video. This is the last update with the grass being this color. And I kind of want to keep myself to the same version. Again, this series could change very much to like a let's kind of update it ourselves as we go. Again, I think that would be playing too much to nostalgia and all that good stuff. Whereas I don't think that's supposed to be the point. So you bastards drop feathers. I do have to say, formality of my job, this is an 18 plus playthrough, ideally. I have to say it at least. And I won't get much more into that. You're not going to be seeing me swear my mind off or anything, but I mean swearing's about the worst you're going to hear, but it's just something I have to say, and I'm going to leave it at that. But again, I think it's just because any audience I have, I don't really do this for an audience per se, is going to typically be older. If there are younger folks than I, 28 by the way, I almost said 25, I'm at that point, I just don't even remember. Then, I mean, welcome. You're kind of seeing what things were like. I mean, this game has the ability to go back to these versions pretty well itself. I will say, in my discoveries online, looking into this, I know we're punching these. There is a nice archival that Minecraft itself is doing. There are means to just naturally revert your version. But I guess from what I was hearing, it's not fully intact. It's using a lot of assets, I guess, mostly sounds, that are present now that were not present back then. I think it might just be the sounds, in fact, but I'm not entirely sure. I'm going to start making multiples of every tool so we don't have to keep doing this. But, yeah. I did flatten this a little bit, and we'll probably keep terraforming it as kind of me. I thought this like random vein that's going through there. That, oh, right, you guys are going to stay alive just by virtue of shenanigans. Did that even do anything? Oh yeah, torches don't do as much. That I don't really. Yeah, they are not strong, are they? Where you at, buddy? I'm not scared of you. I'm kind of scared of you. Ah, holy shit! Alright. Oh god, dude. Fuck, I'm not remembering how difficult this is. Are you not dead? Oh, you are dead, sir. We need this lit up, though. I don't need that happening. So I think it's strictly a lighting faculty at this point. Alright, let's go do food the old-fashioned way. That sound effect! Oh my god, if we didn't have that shunk! That scared the shit out of me. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, like, you know, even if someone doesn't do this often, we gotta things are gonna get played up, but I'm just kind of... Why did I just get forced backwards? Is that pig explosions? Don't worry about depopul... There is... Hang on a second. That is not something I remember. Their dead bodies seem to, like, have some pushback. I wonder if they're... Again, bugginess. I wonder if they're still technically... Yeah, whoa. They, like, still technically exist after they're dead. Maybe it's their ghosts. What the heck? Wait, did that arrow just disappear? It might have hit the despawn limit, actually. We're about that long. But yeah, pork chops are going to be individual. They're not going to stack. It was kind of a thing back in the day. If you know, you know. Where you kind of just died at... Like, once beds came out and this whole system was in place, like, with this food and all that shenanigans. Oh, I was hoping that would kill him. Yeah, it kind of just became standard to kill yourself and just respawn at your bed whenever your health was low. Because this is kind of a pain not having the food stacked. I'm going to try and respect food mechanics for what they are in this. Oh, I think reach is less. Reach is way less. I think that actually became a, like, I know when the console versions released, and I can speak to that a bit too, because I was pretty early on that, being one of the many that did not have a computer that could really run this without, I don't know, this game was probably a lot easier to run back then, because like, to think the computers I had running it now. But yeah, with the Xbox version, the reach got increased a bit to kind of accommodate controllers. I don't know why that's really I'm calling that a controller accommodation thing necessarily, but yeah. Okay, can we at least cook with wood? Okay, we can cook with wood. I do like that. And we're not gonna be able to multi-stack. That's wild. Some of this stuff's gonna be a pain. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I'll try to spout out what facts I know when I know them. Ooh, fucking glass is something we can do for multiple benefits right now. Again, I'm not one that really likes to destroy and mangle the land I'm on. I like to make things look as naturalistic as possible. There is a beauty to having kind of structure, but just mauling a sand beach and having it not look naturalistic is not something I really want to do. Something like this that sticks out, though, is free game as far as I'm concerned, because it already looks weird. I'm saying to this world gem that is far more random, and that's kind of the point in why I'm back, and yet I'm forsaking it. But it's more the breathtaking stuff you can run into. This is not unlike, again, one of my many settlements I've probably had in the past, but interesting fact about that Xbox version. Again, I'll speak to what I know when I know it, and it's going to be vague and maybe miss the mark a little bit, but the Xbox 360 version released on a version very similar, keeping in mind it was its own thing, to Minecraft Alpha, Beta 1.6.6, which would have been like after Wolves, but I don't know what else it was before. I think Wolves are 1.4, 1.5 Beta. Again, I lived most of this, so this is kind of a weird situation. Most of my friends that know me know I've always kind of gamed away from my era and like still played a lot of the retro stuff, and a lot of that's like I'm a person that was born in 1995, so things like that were out around that time were obviously like PlayStation 1 being in 94 and stuff, but you know, we weren't necessarily at the latest greatest console most of the times, so most of my early childhood would have been Super Nintendo and stuff, and it kind of began from there. I feel like I've told this story to my friends and they know it. But yeah, until like PS2, we didn't really get current. And a lot of my early memories are, in fact, no, get back there, get back there. I want to do the thing. Oh, all right, let me try it. God, they really take a large hitchbox, feels like. Also, yeah, iron. Yeah, I kind of still game throughout all eras, because there's a fascination in having older brothers that would talk about the stuff that I wasn't necessarily alive for, like the NES and stuff we had around too. I guess we got a cave here. I don't really want to go caving too deep right now. I'm actually a little worried about getting sniped. But yeah, I always kind of had that fascination, and like there wasn't a great means to have a budget to get new games. A lot of times getting new games was revisiting old ones, perhaps ones I hadn't played before in our NES or Super Nintendo library. So I've always kind of had this fascination with retro gaming, even though it's slightly before my time. A lot of my friends around me on the internet are about 5-10 years older as a result, and that's kind of always been the case. But, you know, it's interesting to something like this where it's a game that's transcended time a bit, and like it's got all these own pockets of time of versions where it's you know, like almost a completely unrecognizable game at this point, other than the fact that it's going to be inherently recognizable. Yeah, and I guess we're hitting our second night here. I don't know how we're really gonna break apart the videos here, but I imagine this is probably still part 1 or 2. I'm gonna try and make them a little shorter, I think, but we'll see how things go. I have so much dang food in my inventory. But I think we're safe to. Well, let's do the door thing. I'm 99% sure doors are a thing. You know, and when you get 1 from them, I wonder when the whole 3. Oh, that sound effect. Yeah, this game being of an era that I can almost speak to all the different timings on things. Like, it's been around 14 years in my case. It's actually been around 15, but I jumped in somewhere in the second year. That's just kind of cool. It's like, I don't know. Like I said, it kind of transcends time a little bit. And this should insta-heal. That's how this used to work for a decent chunk. Keep in mind here, I am aware myself. Again, sometimes I'll be surprised, sometimes I won't. I believe pork is the only food source by meat, at least. Oh, we're gonna want to cook some glass here. So pork should be the only food source by meat. I believe we can cook wheat and bread and stuff. Bread, yeah, bread should work. But I almost never did. It wasn't actually till beta I actually ever farmed. I remember that being a thing. I've actually got a far amount for torches now. It's actually not too scarce. Once you got torches, you kind of start swimming in coal, even back then, I think. Maybe not back this far, but we'll see. I know we don't have the best established mine system here. I was literally just hoping to run into coal last night. I do remember torches having a bit of this effect. You can turn it off now, but you can almost see each block is like a different coloration for the lighting, which has been smoothed. Again, you can turn it off, even in the modern versions, last I checked. But yeah, that was the thing. This is essentially our frickin' Herobrine cave. The 2x2. What was the lore on that? That was pretty fascinating. It was pretty intriguing thing to think that you know, there was this deity of a character, not even necessarily deity, that there was a programmed character that could just be around causing a ruckus subtly. I think subtle horror is like one of the best kinds of horror. If you just have a game like this that inherently really did have a spookier feel to it back then, and it does. You see how I got a little jumpy from just a skeleton earlier, but I mean, that dude hit like a truck. And armor, I believe, is going to be affected by certain things like fall damage. Kind of annoying. A lot of these things are coming back to me on the fly. I'm surprised how much isn't catching me a little more off guard and just being like, oh, that's how that worked. I feel like my tools are breaking faster too, but I know that's not the case. I'm pretty sure it's still about 64 blocks per stone tool, which does equate for hitting other blocks. I don't actually know if it does in the modern sense. I still act like it does, like that I shouldn't be, you know, hitting dirt with an axe or something because it's going to cost durability, but I don't know which blocks actually are affected by that. I think we're definitely at the point where we can start trusting coal to cook some of these. Let's. I think it's gonna need about 13. I don't know what math is. We're gonna need a chest here pretty quick, and yes, we'll be getting obviously better structures. This is great resource management on my part. I can't even make a pickaxe because I don't have sticks. I could mangle part of my house. I don't remember the last time I've done this. I need a part of my house to do that. And that, yeah, little texture. I love it. I love it. I don't care. And yes, in case you didn't notice, another subtle one is like the top texture of that. It's basically the wall one. So you literally would not be able to tell that's a furnace. There's a block next to it. Now I can't break that. We're gonna fix that. Just gonna work on giving us a little bit of a shoddy skylight for now. I think it's gonna... I envision it getting bigger, but... Oh my god, the reach. I can't remember if that keeps some progress, at least. We're gonna have to get it from up top. Oh, that's not even where I want that. I don't want to risk breaking the... Or I don't want to hear that awful sound. Very likely, I'm thinking that I actually keep these videos in pretty large chunks. Again, I don't think about these things too much. You know, I just do it for fun. But like, there is a presentation I still care about. And sometimes it comes to just like this. It's like, well, if this is something anyone is watching, typically these kind of things go over better as longer chunks that you can watch late at night. Much like I've been doing. So, you know, not to piggyback on that. I'm just saying, hey, that tends to be what I think I would want. That's what I'm gonna logic behind it. Cuts are a thing I still think I want. That's the logic I'm gonna have behind it. I don't know. Now I sound snooty. I don't think I've ever had a 2x2 hallway like this ever. And I don't know if we're actually too low. Do we not even get X, Y, Z values? We do. We do. It's just a little more arbitrary, right? I think. No, that's a look. F is 0, 0. I don't think that's a thing back then. Are you still using 20% of our computer? Wait, what do you mean 20%? 300 megabytes? Nah, dude. What do I have? Like I'm a 16 gigabyter? I'm really just going to go with the flow on those things. I've seen a lot of people use disrespect. I mean, I know X always used to. And I always appreciate that. Stairs are funky, aren't they? Stairs are funky. I'm also not sure how much I like their look. This is not a problem I remember having, and perhaps not my favorite feature. The hell is up the stairs? I think this is why we used half slabs back in the day, isn't it? They definitely look nicer. And on the opinion of things looking nice, I'm not going to have a lot of the options that are disposal, and I'm trying not to worry about things. I do tend to be a bit of a design nut. In simplistic ways. But this is definitely for me. Okay, yeah, they don't go upside down, I believe, at this point. Can I, like, do a little floating? Why not? That looks great, doesn't it? And we'll do a little bit of fill-in for those that bothers. Okay, so that doesn't suck terribly. We're gonna try and maybe patch up some of these silly spots with maybe some half slabs. Which I believe back then, my God, my landlords love to slam that door downstairs. It's never just close the door, man. It's my old man. But I remember my father, still really bad for it. Like, anytime he goes in and out of the doors, like, I used to, like, always have trouble sleeping. What are stairs? What are stairs, dude? Completely going through the block? Yeah, my dad used to. I used to be such a night owl when I was able to be, and certainly latter adult years and stuff. I think I do remember the stair annoyance. But I remember him just like slamming doors constantly and like, not like makes him sound angry, but good Lord, stairs, you were getting banished here. Just like. Because he was doing things outside and coming in and out of the house, he just always slammed the dang doors, and it was just like, oh my God, stop. I'm having the same thing with my landlords right now. Like my, I think the house I'm at, it's a pretty new build, but some of the wear and tear is starting to happen. So I never used to hear the garage door that's directly below me, because I live above a garage. And then, suddenly I started hearing it more. Jeez. That turns into a full block. And then it gives me a halfer back, one back. Augie is right. Okay, well that's... Sure. Whatever. Partial stairs. Yeah, like, and the door that leaves the garage it's clearly gotten older too, but it's just like every time they go through it, it's just like wham! It's like, man, oh man, do we need to do this? Alright, apparently those tell the stairs to fix themselves. You know what? I'm gonna be friends off these stairs as soon as possible. This is brutal.